Hi, thanks. So I used to work at this place that had a strange business model. It was basically, we would put products on television and people would buy them off of television, right? Really bizarre business model, and it was extremely successful. So successful that after I was there for a couple of years, we moved into a brand new gleaming building with a giant atrium and 3 floors in the atrium and skylights coming in, like the sun coming in like it's from God. And we felt very blessed. And we would meet in this atrium and have these awesome events where the whole building, the buyers and the merchants and the broadcast crew, I was in broadcasting, we would all go there and have these really astounding events, really fun times. They'd give out shirts for special events. It was fun. And then 9/11 struck. And on the morning of 9/11 at QVC, first of all, everybody has a TV in their cubicle, in their offices, and everybody was glued to the set. And it became apparent after an hour or two watching what was happening last morning that we had to go off the air. We're not going to be selling tchotchkes when there's a catastrophe of that magnitude on our hallowed ground. So we did dip to black, and we closed up shop for 24 or 48 hours and then came back. And, if you remember that time, we were all in shell shock, and it was more than just 2 days. For the next year, the only times we met in this atrium were for memorial services for 9/11. We met a week after, and we did a broadcast, and we were all, in there with a flag hanging down from the atrium. And a year later, we did it again. To commemorate 9/11, we all met. And the air had been taken out of our wings and out of America's wings too, as you know, because nobody was buying things and the economy was flat and business was not good, and senior management we just have to double down and do things right and work harder, and we were really in this funk. But it took one young man who I don't even know his name to change our karma in the whole building. And this guy was a young buyer who bought Conair, bought Home Goods, and he bought Conair products. And he assembled for the premier Conair show with a very special guest to come in and go on the air. And we're used to celebrities at QVC. It was nothing to walk down the hall and see Joan Rivers' dogs pissing on a potted plant, right? Or to hear Richard Simmons belting out a Broadway tune, in the studio. So we were used to celebrities. But this celebrity coming in for Conair was, for some reason, the right man at the right time. And what this assistant buyer did was, this was totally grassroots. He had no authority from senior management to do this. But he basically just sent an email to the department assistant saying, Mr. T is going to be coming down the hallway and going to the studio for this Conair show. He's going to be walking through the atrium at 4 o'clock. If anybody wants to just meet him and greet him, that would be, do it. So the department assistants are the nerves of the business, and they just sent it out. I was a director level, and I was very interested to see what would happen. I was very interested in culture and stuff. And I caught wind that one of the senior VPs was really pissed off because everybody should be at their desks at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, not in the atrium. And so around 3:45, I went down to the caf and then stood there and watched, and people started trickling in. And people would go get some cookies in the caf, get some coffee, and then they just lingered in the atrium. And it swelled. It was like 20 people, then 40 people, then 80 people. And then it was packed with 175, 200 people. And Mr. T comes walking down, and everybody just breaks out into cheers. It was so dynamic. And he was smaller than you would think. He had more gold than we showed in our Gold Rush special the night before. But he was awesome. And, he's from the A-team. He's a hero. And he got up and just said a few words and hugged a bunch of women and just livened the whole place up. And it was incredible. And a week later, things started to change. The whole karma in the building changed. We had gotten over our grieving for this past year. And I was in a meeting with a couple of my friends who were directors, and we were talking about this magical moment that happened. And the only thing I could relate it to was, it was like the very end of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, when the people from Whoville come out and sing that they are alive. There's nothing going to kill their spirit. And we were in a funk for a year, but it took Mr. T to get us back out of that and to reclaim our spirit. So I'm always thankful to Mr. T. Thanks.